but he has a quarter pounder in his pocket.
I mean, you could win me with that.
Yeah.
You could win me. I mean, give me some strawberry ice cream, give me a quarter pounder, I'm yours.
Yeah.
The
Cheap
photos.
date.
I
Hot
know.
date.
Welcome to Horror Movie Survival Guide, Disco Citizens, the podcast where gorehounds
and best friends Terry Gamble
and Julia Marchesi break down a different horror movie each week,
exploring a multitude of genres, subgenres,
and subgenres,
classic and cult,
international
and underground flicks alike, determining which films are the goriest,
and offering up Horror Movie Survival Guide tips to
help you stay alive.
Oh my God, howdy there, Disco Citizens. I'm Terry.
I'm Julia. Welcome to Horror Movie Survival Guide, where this week we're talking about 1995's Copycat. Title of this movie is He Wants to Dazzle Us. Tagline is, one man is copying the most notorious killers in history, one at a time. Together, two women must stop him from killing again or they're next.
Okay.
Into it. Giving you the
full
goods.
plot.
It is intriguing as well. Written by David Madsen and Ann Biderman and directed by John Amiel. So I saw this movie in theaters when it came out.
Oh my God.
And I remember really liking it.
Mm-hmm.
And I have it on VHS, of course. It was the first time I ever saw Holly Hunter in anything.
Oh.
So this was my Holly Hunter
this is
story.
your Holly Hunter intro. Okay.
Yeah. So I think Raising Arizona is a lot of people. And that was later for me. But I saw her here. And I was like, she's really powerful.
She's always a freaking... Her and Sigourney Weaver, I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I was like, if anybody's going down, it's the men. Because these women... can destroy you with just a withering look, glance. And even though I think they make light and jokes about her stature, because Holly Hunter, is like a diminutive little person, but like her mouth and just her she could cut you with like a couple of words.
Yeah.
Like she's a badass. I fucking love her so much. I'm very excited to see her.
Yeah. And I really like her character in this movie. And I feel like they don't give you a lot of backstory on her.
No,
but
you don't need it.
You don't need it.
Because she's kind of given it to you how she is. She's already wearing her backstory because she's a good freaking actor.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah.
So we open on our Helen Hudson, played by Sigourney Weaver.
Dr. Helen Hudson.
Yes, she is a very famous psychologist who specializes in what turn serial killers. She has for 20 years. This has been her specialty.
It's her life's work.
Mm-hmm.
You get it. She's very passionate about it. So she's giving a lecture at a university somewhere, it looks like. And she says things like, I love it. What turns you on? And she breaks it down about serial killers. The profile, 9 out of 10, serial killers are white males between the ages of 20 to 35. They are usually nice, smart guys that their victims usually trust and allow them to come in. And so they're not a 20th century invention, but there seems to be more of a proliferation of them lately. And she's like, I'm not 100% sure why, but I think as the movie unravels, we figure out it's because there's marketing now, and it's because there's fame involved now. So people are chasing fame.
A reward kind of for it.
Reward, which is why I don't really F with true crime too much, because there's something about giving, yes, we want to be aware, but also giving too much light and credit to these guys feels that same fame thing that's like, well, if I can't be famous as I am, I'm going to have to just do something awful so that people will know who I am.
Well, yeah, I think you have this very interesting shot of her asking all the male who fit this bill to stand up in this room. And then you look at them and you're like, yeah, it could be anybody, right? And that's the point. And we do get Peter Foley in those shots kind of going by. Did you even notice him at all in those shots?
I figured he was there because I think they cut back to like kind of images of that as throughout the movie. But of course we do get Harry Connick Jr., scenery chewing, which I have been a fan of him since forever. New Orleans, thinking about our movie last week, we had a New Orleans movie. He's such a New Orleans artist and just like one of those people who I think is very transformative. I loved him in Little Man Tate and like all that kind of stuff. Like I've been a big fan of him for a long time. Just his music and stuff too. But my goodness, he's a creepy ass serial killer. And I was like, yeah, I buy it. He could do it. I'm scared of him.
I remember being so shocked by it, right? Because Harry Connick Jr. was known to be this very suave crooner. And now
he's an actor too, though. He always did voices. Because did you listen to his music when he was a kid? So he's been doing music since he was like 10 or 11. He has one
wow.
of his first albums is like Harry at 11 or something like that. And he would do like the old New Orleans like man voice. Like you could tell he grew up trying to sound like Louis Armstrong.
Okay.
So like knowing that about him, I already know that that's like kind of his like range, because I told you I was super fan of Harry Connick. Like I did the deep dive as like when you were doing deep dives on these guys, I was doing deep dives on that too. And so I knew that was in him.
An extra on a set that he was on one time, and it was in a big theater, it was a big audience. So his character was giving us like a big speech in front of the whole audience. So between takes, he's like up there, he's the microphone in front of the whole audience, right? So
he
he's
can
like,
hold an audience.
He is singing and joking and doing all this thing, and it was the most amazing thing because they would start to be like, roll sound. All right, roll camera. All right, like they're doing all the things, and he's still goofing.
Yep.
And they say action, and he went snip, and he was in it. Like.
He's a genius.
1 second. It was incredible.
Yeah, he's a genius. I mean, like I said, he's been doing like what he's been performing since a child. He's a literal genius. And so anyway, seeing him do this, I was like, yeah, that's right.
So she thinks she sees him in the audience, but it's only her imagination. And so we see her signing autographs, and her message is, don't park next to vans. And I think that's a horror movie survivor guide tip, right?
Throw it on there. Throw it on our list. Don't park next to vans. Honestly, not a bad move, unless it's a van you need to have access to and you know the people.
But she does.
And even then, also be wary, because often, as I said, you victims are usually people that you know and trust. Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's hard to be alive, right?
Yeah.
She says that she thinks the Ted Bundy who was killed by the state should have been held for life and studied instead of being killed, so they can catch the next one before he strikes again. So you go, okay, there we go. The beginning of the movie, all right here.
So that's kind of the mission. So she's like, I want to be able to. So you can get that she's into like trying to predict where the next guy's going to strike now. She's like, now that we know the profile, now we know who to look out for, who we should be kind of like profiling in a way, and also just so we can be aware. So you get that she's also very paranoid because she has a lot of fans that are probably killers that like her and that are following her. So she goes to use the restroom at this place. She has a police escort down to the restroom. He checks all the stalls for her. But does he do a thorough job? Not particularly, because there is still what appears to be a woman in one of the stalls, but it's not. It's a killer. Wearing heels.
Yep. This is Darrell Lee Cullum, and he, I really
Our Harry Connick,
remember how horrified I was at the scene. And I feel like it does kind of what Psycho does for showers to like public bathrooms, where this could happen. And that I had never had this thought before watching this movie. And now I'm like,
I always have thoughts about something terrible going on in the bathroom. But
do you?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Oh,
that's fun.
He uses a metal wire to basically string her up above the toilet, and one of her shoes falls off, and he comes out and does a little like jokey, hey, I'm gonna kill you now. But he's like, he's having so much fun. I like an intense serial killer, but I also enjoy
one who's having the time of his life.
He's having so much fun.
He's like, this is what I am made for. This is the joy of my life. I am made to kill beautifully. And so he is having and hamming it up and having a very good time. And so
licking knives and all.
Licking the knife, yeah. And, so he has a tete-a-tete with the police who comes in to get her. Of course, he's going to end up killing one of the security police, and she ends up 13 months later. We find out after this dust up is highly agoraphobic and has not left her house or gone out to do anything since. So whole another year later, and she is looking broken. She's cracked.
This was also the movie that taught me what agoraphobia was. Didn't know what that was.
Oh, fun.
And I was like, oh, this looks terrible. So she's taking medication, drinking a lot. She has panic attacks. She can't leave the door. Like we have a scene of her. She keeps trying to get the newspaper. It's too far away, and she can't. Like just going outside.
Everything looks pear shaped. Basically, when she goes outside, it's like everything looks like when you're super super drunk and you can't see anymore. Anywho, not that I know. But she lives it. But her place that she is stuck in.
If you're gonna be stuck somewhere.
I was like, okay, I would stay in there too. It's gorgeous. She's in this big, huge, beautiful loft up in like San Francisco area. It's wide open,
right on the water.
Yeah, so it's like it's stunning. She's got great views, even though it's all open. Though it's one of those weird things where like even when you have a lot of open space, I feel like it's like the Midwest, where like even when you walk outside, it's just prairie. You still can have that sense of claustrophobia that comes from like the vastness of it. Mm-hmm. Even though her space is huge, you still see how it's scary because there's lots of light and shadow play that's happening in the rooms itself and in the open floor plan that she has. There's a lot of still places that it feels like someone could hide or feasibly make their way into because she has so many windows and things too.
Yeah, that's the upside to living in a tiny apartment is that not a lot of places for people to hide.
Nah, I know exactly where, like, when my cats got missing, like, I was like, there's 3 places they like to go. There's not much else for them to go. I know exactly where they're gonna be. So she's super housebound. She's got a computer, though, layer, that,
Yeah.
like, little central that's very cool looking that you're like, "Oh, she's into technology." So she's reaching out early internet,
Yeah.
1995 chat rooms. They looked very different, and this is a good little, like, we love some old tech.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting it here.
Yeah, that's how she has her human comfort is she is chatting with people online. She also has a assistant named Andy who is very sweet
And super gay and
and super
wonderful.
gay. So then we meet our cops. So we have MJ and Ruben, who he's kind of the rookie and she's way more experienced. They're at a shooting
Dermot
range.
Mulroney, just adorable, chomping on something. He eats in every movie, I feel
Does
like.
he?
Yeah, and it's like, I'm always like, "Why is that so hot?" I guess that's why he does it and maybe why they have him do it because it always looks very, very hot to me. Anyway,
he likes business, you
he
know?
does. He's got his business. He's an actor who likes business. I'm an actor who likes business too. That's probably why I find it hot.
Yeah.
So Dermot Mulroney's there. They're at the shooting range with Holly Hunter.
And he just kind of blows this target away, but she shows him actually, if you do it really, really specified into this place, you could take the man, drop the gun, and not have to shoot anybody, not kill anybody. And that's the kind of point is that you're not supposed to be killing them; you're just supposed to be incapacitating them. But
Yes.
she's clearly so far out of his like league, and so as far as not only like romantically, but also just as a cop has so much experience.
She's got the precision. She's got the brain. She's the brains of the operation for sure.
Can we have a spinoff where this character and Clarice from Silence of the Lambs
Make out.
solve
Oh, sorry.
yes
Oh,
and solve
yeah.
crimes?
I would like both. Absolutely.
They're both so small. They would
They're
be
that's
great.
what they have
They're
the
the same
diminutive
size.
southern accent. Like it's very, very that.
Okay, that's what we want.
Would love to see that. So they're having this, fun tete-to-tete conversation about, like you said, properly putting someone down and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
That's time for our next murder. So
Yep.
let's go into the crime scene. And she ask the photographer to take photos of the crowd because she knows that a lot of times people who commit the crime like to hang around and see how the crimes are used by the police.
Yep.
So we have a girl who's in a bathtub. She was strangled with a stocking, but the stocking was removed by her superior because he didn't want it to be used in the press and it would be something that they could keep secret. And she's not happy with that. But
Because evidence was tampered, but it was actually kind of the smart move because it's one of those things too where like the murderer obviously, as we're finding out too, like often wants to have a calling card of some sort that they leave there. And so that's a big detail that would actually maybe help them find this person that they don't want necessarily out to the whole public. Also, it would make people start speculating because it looks exactly like another murder that's happened somewhere.
Mhm.
Hence the name of this film, Copycat. It looks like a Boston Strangler murder. And so the crime scene, she's very matter of fact. I love watching her go through and talk to everybody there, the photographer, and like, grilling everybody that's there as to what's happened, talking about, the time of the death of the body. Just she's very perfunctory and very good at her job. You can tell.
But she also isn't cold though. There is
No.
a warmth to her that I think is really
Yeah.
interesting. And Sigourney Weaver does say, her little girl act. And you're like, oh, she knows she's small and she can use that, as this
She
kind of.
knows what she's working with.
Right. You got to
Yeah.
you got to project the bumbling detective so that they give you all the stuff. And then, we know how it is.
Oh yeah, we know Matlock. Sorry,
Yeah.
we know Columbo.
So
Yeah.
Helen has been calling the police. She's called them 14 times. And so they say, let's go take a look and see her.
They actually are making fun of her though at the
Mhm.
station because she sounds like a crazy person who's calling, but they don't realize who it is who's calling. Once they figure out that it's this person who is like literally an expert on serial killers, and where they've got a few kills already that are mounting up, they realize they probably do need her help because they thought she said lunar cycle. They're like, oh, you mean some like blood cycle or some whatever. They're making all kinds of fun of her about what she's saying over the phone.
So they go to see her, and she has. They're going to want her to work with them. And I like the line. She says, "I don't give a fuck. That's the upside of a nervous breakdown." I'm like, "Yep." So
Uh-huh.
they want to show her these photos and get her help, and she starts hyperventilating, and then so she hyperventilates into a paper bag until she faints,
She has a panic attack.
and then she wakes up and she's fine. So Andy just
Yeah.
holds her on the floor. It's so cute. Oh,
And her bestie, he's like,
Andy.
yeah, she's gonna do this. She's like, just leave the photos though. When she comes to, she'll help.
Yeah.
And they're like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. This is actually kind of par for her course. This is kind of what she do.
Yeah.
And so, it's
So-
great. But also, they all both Andy and her both are like that. Ruben, that Dermot Mulroney, he's a hot little piece of detective over there.
Mhm.
Would like to talk to him again. So she's like, yeah, he'll be back. I got you.
And Ruben says I think she was street, but she's a strange ranger. And MJ calls her a pill popping juice head, hyperventilating, agoraphobic asshole.
Yep.
So
So they both have different, I met the same person, very different takeaways
Yep.
from that person. So there was clearly a little spark between Ruben and the doc.
And how could it not be? Look at Sigourney Weaver. I mean, you go in that room and she's that stately presence.
she's stately as hell, but also like she's also brilliant. Like you could tell. And
Yeah.
so he's like,
That's
you
what's
can
so
tell he
sexy
likes
about her.
smart women, like
Yeah.
clearly, because he's got this thing kind of for MJ too, who's also freaking brilliant.
Mhm.
And so the doc, you know, after all of this, she's cleaning herself up. She takes a shower, but she comes out of the shower and the red dress that she wore the year before at the talk has been laid out on her bed. Not by her. So first she thought it was like Andy or something was in her room, but it definitely wouldn't have been him. And she has a little moment where she like is questioning, is this real? Is this not real? You can tell she's not 100% sure.
And she's also
how
been
to take
drinking
it.
and taking medication, so
Right.
she's a little bit fuzzy. So we also have Nico, who is a coworker of the cops, and he also has a thing for MJ. They used to date, don't date anymore.
Yeah,
but
he's still
not,
holding a torch for her.
Yeah, not happy about the new young buck moving in. So and he asks her out, and she says no, and he's super hurt. And you go, okay.
He's rebuffed, but she's saved because Ruben walks right in and has got like, I've got food. And he's like, oh, she's like, oh, there's my dinner. It's like, oh,
yeah,
I missed my time. I was too slow. She's already got food coming on in for her. So he brings her some dinner. They joke and rib each other about Japanese food. And she's like, all I wanted was a freaking quarter pounder with cheese and some French fries. And he's like, oh no, I brought you this tempura and stuff. She's like, oh, not a fry in sight. But he has a quarter pounder in his pocket.
I mean, you could win me with that.
Yeah.
You could win me. I mean, you know, give me some strawberry ice cream, give me a quarter pounder, I'm yours.
Yeah. Cheap date. Hot
I know.
date.
The photos are really brutal. And she says, so she's going to be, she looks at, they give her 4 photographs. One of them, she's like, it's not the same guy. You guys put it in there to test me because this crime scene is disorganized and there's all these things like not, so she knows her stuff.
Yeah. She's like, you guys wanted to test me. She's like, I'm beyond test. And they're like, noted. We get it, but we did have to check. Because she has been making these calls. She just sound a little, you know, crazy.
Yeah.
They're not 100% sure of her, but she's on it. And she's like, yeah, this is the Boston Strangler. This is what it's about. She's even notices the evidence that's missing from the photos. So she's like, yeah, there's supposed to be this and this. He's doing this scene in this picture. She knows exactly because she remembers, because she has like a little like photographic memory kind of stuff going on too.
But she said she knows that she knew so much about the crime scene. Like, it's highly organized. There's no blood, no prints. He strangles them face to face so they can see his power. He's an intelligent white male, 20 to 30, social functional. So you're like, okay, they said there's always new mutations. So even if he's like, you think the serial killer's gone, like he's going to mutate into this other thing.
Yeah.
So there's sideline to this movie, and I wish we got more of it because it is up my alley. But they are having a Power of Love festival in San Francisco that summer because it is, why not?
Not big part of the plot, but a fun part of the plot. Absolutely, Julia. So it's like, I think that was like, this was that era of like, because it was like 30 years from Woodstock around this time, right? Like,
well, Summer of Love 67.
So this is 1995. So this is
a
like
little bit early.
Yeah, but I feel like that was also the clothing that was in that had come back that few years before. Because I remember wearing a lot of bell bottoms in like 93. And because it was in 17 magazine and like was marketed to us that way. And Delia's, exactly. So I feel like that was happening. And San Francisco was always kind of that continued from that era.
Yeah. So
Haight-Ashbury and everything. So yeah, so there's a big music festival happening. And so there's going to be some victims probably at this big festival.
So she is sent a file with a video of a pretty girl dancing at the festival that's going to turn into a skull, and he says tomorrow. And so it's so great because this is both like out of everybody in the movie, Sigourney Weaver knows the most about technology, right?
Yes.
Ruben knows a little from playing video games, and MJ knows nothing. So she's like, get it back. Just play it back. Why can't you just get... They're like, no. It's a whole thing. There's a virus.
There's a virus
like,
on this freaking thing, and we can't retrieve the video. So they try to play it again after, you know, Dr. Hudson has seen it, but she can't because the video has basically been booby-trapped. And so they're like, we can't play it back. And it keeps morphing and like being like, ha, ha, ha. You don't get it. No. Oh, Jurassic Park, sorry.
I like... Helen says she's the fucking muse of serial killers. So she knows their pin.
Well, they're because they were like, why would they send it to you? She's like, yeah, I'm their freaking muse. I'm the pinup girl. I'm the one that they want to get my attention because they know I can help make them famous, essentially.
Yeah, sure. She unplugs everything and says that she realizes now that the internet is an open door. And you're like, yes, it is. It is an open door.
It's been a Pandora's box, and we absolutely are experiencing, I think, the repercussions of that as the years go on. It's more and more true.
But I mean, specifically, like people could hack into your computer specifically and like take it down, right?
You can take everything. Like
Mhm.
people have already been doing that. I mean, like that's kind of the there was more even this last year, in the year of our dear Lord 2025, 2024, there was more fraud online and more robbery online than there was like
Oh, yeah,
physical robbery
for sure.
because it's just so much easier.
Yeah, why would you want to go out and burgle someone if you can just do it online, like
Correct.
in your comfort of your own home?
Correct.
So MJ ends up leaving, but leaves Ruben there, and they have a little cute scene. Ruben and the doctor, and he says he's not going to drink or mess with her because she's a victim, and that's a line there. But she's just made in better times, maybe. You know,
And she kisses
aw.
him on the forehead, and it's so dear, and you're just like, oh,
That's so nice to acknowledge it, though. Like you and I, like they have a spark. They see they have a spark.
you
But
got
it
sometimes you
can't
got to say
happen.
something. Sometimes
Yeah.
you do got to say something just so you can freaking move on and be a human next to that person, or else it's always going to be like, no, 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 butterfly, butterfly,
Yeah.
butterfly. And so he, stays the night to like make sure she's okay. Is a perfect gentleman, but of course there's going to be a murder that night, and it's the girl that they saw in the video, who was at the music festival, but she has been dragged up a hill.
But we do meet Peter
mhm.
before this because
Yes.
this is the first time we see him as a character.
Oh
and
yes,
we also meet
our computer boy, William McNamara.
Yeah, William McNamara, who is also has a wife upstairs, bedridden ? Who is upstairs watching TV, but downstairs through his beaded curtain is his torture lair, where not only does he have his like red string wall of all of his like trophies, but also has this girl there, breathing into a plastic bag, very upsettingly, and he's so cute, and I would fucking fall for it.
Correct. He's a cute boy killer.
I know.
And I remember being in love with William McNamara. He was in a movie. I feel like I think it might have been Doing Time at Maple Drive. It's TV made for TV movie. Look at me
Oh,
pulling that from the recesses.
wow.
Whoa. He played a gay character.
Did he?
Ha.
Huh.
I was already in love. Like cute boy kissing him, also kissing
Ooh,
another.
ooh.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Correct. So that's how I knew him. So I was like, William McNamara. I got really excited to see him in this.
Yeah, because he's really good. He doesn't get a lot of play, and he's a very unusual choice for this role. But he's great.
the perfect
because
choice,
You would, any girl would fall for it.
Cute boy killer, and he's very charming. He seems like he's a guy that you can bring home to your parents. Like he's got that demeanor about him. He seems really smart, but also like not like a braggadocious smart.
Yeah.
Like he's that kind of smart where like he gets it, but he also seems like I'll hold your hand if you need it, But you also get that it's a little weird when he talks to his girl upstairs because she's like, I love you. And he's like, yeah, you too. Like the way he says it, you're like,
No.
it's off. And so you get that there's something wrong, a little bit wrong, especially how she's like, I love you. And he's like, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And so he's got surgical precision, asphyxiates this girl.
I can remember because he injects her with Windex in this,
Yeah.
says it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
And that was one of the ones like however old it was at 95, my brain went, what? Don't do what? Like I had never conceived of that. And then I was like, the horror of that. I can't even imagine what that would do to you. How quick would it be quick? Would it?
I feel like
I
it
don't
would
know.
be slow. It feels like it would be a
Like-
slow one. I don't think that's a fast
'Cause
acting
you're not
like
drinking poison. You're
Correct.
injecting poison into your veins. So
Yeah.
I feel like it would kick you pretty quickly. Like it just because your heart's probably going, and it would just need to take a couple cycles to get to your heart, and you'd probably be toast. Not going to deep dive into that on the internet.
No, thank
though.
you. I'm
Nope.
good on that.
But the girl, yes, dumped on only in panties on a hilltop, and she was sexually assaulted with 2 kinds of sperm. So
Yep.
now he's the hillside strangler, different one. Interesting. And
Yeah.
already moves into the next victim. He's like, because a lot of times they say in serial killer movies, like once they get going, it becomes closer and closer and closer because they like don't get the same thrill from it and they're chasing it.
Yeah, they ramp up. You got to ramp up. You got to get the hit. Got to get the next hit.
So he goes straight from Hillside Strangler to Son of Sam, no problem.
Yeah. So, and then there's some ribbing going on too. We get also more of that tension between Nico and Ruben and MJ and stuff too, as Ruben has showed up without sleeping all night to that Hillside Strangler spot, smelling like he's been up all night and has a little maybe hair on his collar from
Mhm.
someone else. And so even MJ's like, hey, guy.
All night with the doc, huh?
Uh-huh. Okay. And he's like, no, it's not like that. Like, you need to know, like,
He's such a good guy.
I only have eyes for you, kind of. And she's like, oh, cutie. So yeah,
I wish it got better in this movie.
it's
So-
not gonna.
no.
Poor guys.
So we find out that she knows it's Helen knows it's the son of Sam, tells MJ to look into the crowd because Sam liked to watch the cops work, and says there's probably a phone booth nearby where there's a note, and there is, and it is for her. But they're not going to tell her that. They're like, yeah, it's fine. We're just going to come over, though. We're just going to...
Yeah, but on their way over, of course, they left another bumbling, useless cop to watch over Dr. Hudson's spot, even though she said, I kind of don't want a cop there because she's got some PTSD maybe about like a cop following her because that what happened to her a year ago with the bathroom with her security detail getting attacked. And so the murderer goes and sets an alarm on one of the cars off outside of her building. And the cop, of course, because he's a cop, goes to go check it out. But he's left the door wide open, essentially, for it to be someone that can go inside. So she's so agoraphobic, and she tries to leave her place, but she's also dressed in the hottest silky nightie of all time. It's just this gorgeous, like, silvery gray, like, gorgeousness.
That one's the one
She
I
looks
think
incredible.
That's what I think of when I think of this movie. I'm like, that nightgown, it was made for her. She looks so incredible.
It's perfect. She looks incredible. But she's also terrified. So she's trying to leave her place,
but
she can't.
That's the horror of it, right? Because when she sees there's somebody in her apartment and she can't leave. And like, I love because she's so smart, and I can see the frustration of just fucking do it. What is wrong with you? And she can't do it.
I can't relate to that at all. Just kidding. There's always something that you're trying to do, and then you feel like a full idiot because you can't do it. Like, it's just like, get up and do the thing. And you're like, no, I can't. And your brain is weird. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Very relate to her
Yeah.
in that moment. But so she's so agoraphobic. As soon as she goes outside the door, like literally the hallway just looks full pear shape. She can't see it. So she has to go back inside. So she knows she's stuck inside, but she grabs a weapon.
Yeah.
She grabs a kitchen knife because she's a good final girl. Because it's freaking Sigourney Weaver. And she sees like a shadow of something upstairs and sees, the blinds flash and...
But he hears cops coming and he leaves, and
he runs away.
We find the note that was left for her are the lyrics to "Murder by Numbers" by the Police, which is
a great tune.
A great tune, and there's also a movie called Murder by Numbers with Ryan Gosling, and they do play this song in that movie.
Of course,
so
it's a great song.
It's not as good as this movie though.
Well, it happens to the best of them, but I do love me some Gosling all day. So the cops are going through it, like they're literally, now we have like the smoky room with all the detectives, and you can see they brought in more people. Looks like the feds are getting involved, like it's because it's becoming a bigger case.
The commissioner's involved.
Yeah. And so, they're like, you must, MJ's like, you got to learn the song, all of it, backwards, forwards, like figure out what's coming up next. And of course the commissioner and her above higher ups are like, you need to stop talking to Hudson.
Yeah.
Because it seems like anything that's connected to her is, it's maybe she's part of the problem. And so MJ's like, yeah, sure. She goes right back to her.
It's
immediately
awesome. They're like, she's like, I'm never going to see her again. Make that clear. She's like, Crystal. And then there she is. I'm like, this is the way to do it, where you just tell people what they want to hear and then do what you want to do anyway.
Ask for forgiveness, not permission, right? You just go do your thing. And so she's like, literally, this is the person who's given us the most information on this case. She knew exactly what was going to be happening next. She understands it. And so even though it is dangerous for her, she still goes. So she goes and has a chat with her. And yeah, it's terrifying of what's going to be coming next.
Yeah. Because, they say, like, if he wants to be famous, he has to be caught. So this is part of the whole thing. We have a scene with Sigourney Weaver getting into a bed full of ants. And if you know me and my horror of insects,
That's
how
your favorite
I feel
scene?
about that scene. Nope.
It's your favorite.
Nope. And
there's a finger in the book.
Yeah.
Holding the place of the
Daryl Lee
page.
Cullum's brand new book, personally signed to the doc.
Yeah.
I do wish we got a little more Daryl Lee in this movie. I gotta say.
I think we get just enough.
You think you couldn't handle it for 90 minutes?
I think we get like the right amount because they sprinkle him in when as necessary. Like he's like, you're like, oh yeah. Because that's what she's so scared. That's why she can't leave her house. It's like, and I really appreciate that. And so MJ's like, you know what we got to do next? She's like, fuck, we got to go talk to him.
Yeah.
So they set up a video chat with him so that at least, Hudson doesn't have to leave her house still, but she does talk with him over the computer.
Yes. So he's very silly. He tells the doc how much he loves her and wants to see her. And then he straight up, like, we're looking for a guy. He's like, yeah, Peter Curtin. That's who you're looking for. And they're like, wait, what? And she's like, that's a serial killer from the 30s. Clearly, that's not his name. He's like, that's the name he gave me. But he says, steer clear of him. He's a freak. He was going to pay $500 for some of his sperm because Peter works in a sperm bank, which is how he got the sperm for the attack, the Hillside Strangler attack.
Yep.
which
and
they
why he
never.
had multiple sperm.
Yeah, which they don't really get into because you'd feel like that would be the first thing, like, oh, the DNA is right there, but it's not going to match him. It's just going to be these two random
It's
people. Like, what
random.
happened to those random people who were like, wasn't anywhere near the scene. What happened?
It is a literal crapshoot. Anyway, so he basically wants to be made immortal. He says too. He's like, I want to be made immortal. Write about me and all this kind of stuff, and continue to keep talking about me. So he trades her some panties.
Personally signed.
Personally signed. He wants Hudson to give him some panties to prison.
Squirrel covers.
Squirrel covers, which is just great. She's like, what? He's like, panties. Panties. And you're like, oh gosh.
I've never heard of it. But he gives them the information where he has the person who's going to be meeting with Peter at 10 p.m. He gives him the place, gives him the time. Now my question is here, what was the plan there? Because they don't actually get to go to the warehouse where they were supposed to be made up. But that was a trap of some sort, right?
Well, because he wanted to get caught. Because he needs to get caught now in order for like the famous part to work out, right?
So was it really just going to be they were going to go in and just take him? And like, because Peter didn't know that he told them, right? Or was Peter in on that?
I feel like Peter was in on it because like I don't know why he would be so ready to give up all that information.
Okay.
I feel like he had set something up too because I feel like this guy, Peter, seems smart enough throughout the movie to be doing the things that he thought he needs to do to get this done the way he wants to get it done. I think he was setting up like some sort of trap for her. But I also love that we get this conversation about how many disciples he has out there because it's like, even if you catch this one guy, Daryl's like, I got more.
Yeah.
There's going to be other people coming after you. Like, you're never going to have like a moment of peace, quite honestly.
And that's pretty horrifying, right? Because it's like you're having multiple people come for you, not just this one guy. Yikes.
It's very like Kill Bill, like Crazy 88s and stuff. Like, it's like, okay, there's going to be more. There's going to be more.
He says, I'm death and life to you, Doc.
Yep.
So then the movie takes
He's got a very religious complex.
A crazy jog to the side where Ruben is now working on the Chinatown whatever and ends up in a hostage situation. He just wants to eat some donuts. That's all he wants. He wants to give a guy a donut. But Nico, being an idiot, left his keys in his drawer and the guy gets the gun. And poor Ruben, she does do what she showed him in the beginning.
That shot comes back.
And it worked and it's perfect, except the guy gets up and shoots Ruben.
Disarms the guy, but the arm is still on the floor. And so they go to both reach for the gun. They both reach for the gun. And so it's understandable. He gets murdered. And so Ruben gets shot in the back, unfortunately. And so now people around our poor Dr. Hudson that she adores are, no longer. And so, Nico and Mary Jane like talk about all of this stuff too. It's pretty brutal where he's just like, dude, of all the things that you always would tell me, she's like, you were smarter than me. You always told me to lock that freaking drawer and I never did.
But he also he feels terrible because he feels like he's responsible for it, and he is. And so he's getting on paid leave, but he also has the realization is like, every time I saw you together, I wished him dead and I killed him. Like
inadvertently.
Yeah. And so I feel like there is it's a very short scene, but I do feel the emotion from both of them is quite genuine.
Oh yeah.
And were you expecting Ruben to die?
I expect everyone to die in this movie at some point, honestly, because it's a serial killer movie and like they're getting closer to her. And of course, like I feel like part of it is to torture her. So I feel like that I wasn't surprised.
But it's also interesting.
I was surprised how it happened.
Yeah, they take
but I
him
wasn't
out
surprised like how
he is like it's not heroically saving anybody.
No.
It's not serial killer based at all. It's just random violence.
Yeah. But I feel like that's also part of what the film is looking at too, right? And so
they missed the connection because of that, and so they didn't get to go to that thing. And now Peter is now at a bar listening to some Bowie, roofing Andy. Poor Andy.
Yeah, so he's out there at this beautiful gay bar because his next thing he's going to do, he's going down a list, and we start figuring out based on the list what this list is actually, because she had at her speech the year before had given a talk and made a list of like all the different killers, basically like kind of who they were, and he is doing the order that she gave in the speech.
So we have DeSalvo, Bianchi and Bueno, Berkowitz, Dahmer, and then we realize he's on Dahmer right now because he's at a gay bar, and then we're going on to Ted Bundy. So Andy gets choked really bad with a bat over his head, and he gets his head sawed off in the alley, and they find his body floating. Oh, poor Andy.
Yeah, so it's pretty bad. So
does Peter must know that who Andy is, right? He goes to
He's already been watching her house.
Right.
Like he's already been spying. We've shown him like spying and looking at everything around her. He's got a dossier on her as well. So he must know everyone. That's the ins and outs of people that are going in and out of the house because she's not. So it's pretty easy to figure out who is, right?
Yeah, but now it's interesting that his whole plan will fall apart on a VW bug, where we know that he is doing Ted Bundy next. He needs to have a gold, yellow, or tan VW bug. And so they also alert college campuses for 50 miles around since Ted Bundy killed
Went
at a
to
sorority
sorority.
house. And so they find his driver's license, and Peter Foley, there it is. And also Helen is going to send him some internet bait online to come get him. And
Yeah. She basically is like, come and get me, boy. So he's like, all right, bet.
Yeah.
And so, of course, he's going to show up and make his way in there because he's going to be dressed like a cop. And so he comes in dressed like a cop, basically slits the throat of the other police officer that he's used to get up into her apartment. And so they're face to face now, and he injects her with something to make her pass the F out. And he's going to take her back to the scene of what made her like go agoraphobic like the year before at the school that he saw her give the speech at.
So MJ is at Peter's house, which he ends up setting fire to. So he had killed his wife upstairs and he had set fire to the whole house. So she realizes where he is. So she goes back to Helen's house, finds the video that he leaves for her, where she's like, "Hey, you'll know where to find me. Come find me." And so now she's got to go.
MJ knows exactly where now. So she's on her way. Even though her boss is like, wait for backup. She's like, again, yeah, sure.
I'm just going to go myself. So I think, we have her strung up. He like removes her shoe. It has to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect.
He tries to recreate the picture of the crime scene again.
She ends up laughing at him, which he does not like at all, because he's never had anybody laugh at him, and spits in his face. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Which he seems like one of those people who's very OCD as well, too. You get that's partly why the way he does his murders, everything's been like, plastic wrapped and like, it's been very fastidious, all the scenes. And so she says he's impotent and he's a second rate because he has to copy all these murders. She's like, you're not even original. This is you just trying to recreate stuff. She's like, this is a joke to me. And so he knows that she's, obviously afraid, but he's like, no, you're still afraid. Like, I'll still take that little bit of fear I can feel within you, even though you're telling me these things. But it does hit him for a little moment.
It does, but he's smart enough, like, oh, I see what you're doing. This is a tactic.
It's like a psychology
I'm not
talk.
gonna fall for it. So he does have an alarm in the hallway. So when MJ shows up, he knows that she's on her way. And she comes in and sees her hanging there, but doesn't see where Peter is.
And and Hudson's mouth is covered in tape, so she can't speak.
And she's trying
to talk with her eyes, but
it doesn't work. So she very cleverly, he lays down and is the dead cop on the floor. So she does not see him, and so she ends up getting shot twice. He
plays dead, yeah.
But we do know that she had a bulletproof vest on because we saw her earlier. So we're like, okay. There we are. So Helen then is like, okay, fuck it, and just hangs herself. And he's like, no, that's not how it's supposed to go. That's not what I want. And so he has to let her down.
He unties her because he's like, that's not how it goes, which is I love because he's so stuck on it having to look like the last one or like the thing before because he's trying to make it look exactly like that.
I understand perfectionism here.
Because he's such a copycat. But it's like, dude, if at this point... But she tries to go get out of there, so she climbs up the stairs, but her agoraphobia almost gets the best of her.
She ends up on the roof where she is. The whole world is spinning. She's crying for help, and out comes Peter. But who, at the last minute, to the rescue? MJ. She does give him the shoot. She shoots him once. She waits to see what he does. And then he goes to kill her, and she's like, okay, and now.
Then she goes for the real kill like she's supposed to. Like she learned her lesson from Ruben earlier, and kills him and takes him all the way down instead of trying to save him. And so, yeah. But there you see, we cut to our dear Daryl, just like you want him, Julia, in his cell with the clipping, of course, of his little disciple on the wall now, who's been murdered. And you see The Mind of the Serial Killer book by Helen on his little shelf. And he is off writing another letter to another disciple. He's about to send another minion, maybe her way.
So where's Copycat 2, man? I'd be so into it. Come back now, see what happened.
I don't want any more. I'm good. I don't want to see it.
Why?
No. I just don't. It's that whole thing of like glorifying these killers. I just don't need any more real true crime stuff. I'm good.
Yeah, but
Good.
this isn't true crime. It's a story.
It's based on true
I know,
crime,
but-
based on this guy copycatting true crime. I don't need people getting ideas and wanting to copycat these people. I am good with this one.
Okay.
I'll take it.
So how do you survive Copycat?
If you're Hudson, very hard because you've kind of created this monster, right?
And trapped in
I
a
think
cell.
she's trapped, and at some point, one of them is going to probably get her.
Yeah.
If you're MJ, you leave the force.
I mean, Ruben doesn't, right? Like, how do you protect yourself against random violence? Because that's the thing is you have this, Helen's on this very predictable, very calculated path
Maybe
of
go to
serial
a country
killers.
with less guns.
That's something.
America's hard that way.
So
more guns than people.
Let's do some gore factor. 1 is not enough blood to fill a Dixie cup. 2 is a puddle of blood. 3 is enough blood to gross out the average viewer. 4 is a bathtub of blood. And 5 is run for the barf bag. This is a 5. If you want a serial killer movie with blood in it, you got it.
Plenty of it. Got a lot of it. Got a lot of crime scenes. All that good stuff for you. You sickos out there. I love you all.
We love you,
I say that
sickos.
with love. And then overall movie ratings: Chainsaws 1 if you're desperate. 2 barely qualifies as a horror film. 3 seen worse, seen better. 4 not too shabby. 5 fantasticorical. So 4 for me. It's freaking great. Not too shabby at all. Great performances. I love me some Holly Hunter. I love Sigourney freaking Weaver. It's Ripley. It's Ripley.
Yeah.
It's Ripley.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never gonna be mad to watch Sigourney Weaver in anything. Just put her in front of my face, and I will love it because I love her.
I give this a 5. This was a movie that I really loved when I saw it, and I still think it's great. I think it, obviously the kind of computer stuff is jokey because it seems so outdated now. But other than
But
that,
I feel like they would still try to do that now. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like they'd probably send something that looks like that because I feel like the way people shitpost now and make things look like lo-fi, I feel like they'd probably be like, I'm trying to make it look like it was from blah, 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 like that era. Like,
Yeah.
they'd probably do that to get specific about it. I love that.
Yeah, and I think it's a smart story. I think the characters are smart, and I think that that's something that I really like about this film is that there's no dumbing down of anything. It's daring you to keep up with these characters who are just brutal and like ready to go for it. I think
Yeah.
that's really refreshing to not have bumbling cops and not have a lead who's
Yeah.
like stumbling around, doesn't know what they're
It's
doing.
like a little bit opposite of Skeleton Key. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, this is not Kate Hudson. This
No.
is freaking badass bitches who are really, really smart, trying to figure this out and really, going for it to get this guy down to the best of their ability.
Yeah, and so I enjoy it. I know I understand the serial killer thing.
Yeah,
but
not a fan.
it's all right. So, how do you feel about Copycat? Did you see this movie when it came out? Do you like it now? Would you like us to cover something else that is like it?
Oh, yeah. Let us know if there's a copycat.
Ha-ha.
Hey! You can also check us out all over the interwebs. Give us those suggestions on the internets, on, all the platforms. Or you can join our Patreon. It's usually the fastest track to getting into our good graces for us to pick your films as well.
It's true.
It is very true. We go there first when we're programming. And you can also check out Julia's couple other podcasts. Dear God, you cheat on me, Julia?
Wow.
You're copycatting on other shows? Oh my gosh, but they're incredible. You got to check out the Losers Club. It's through Cinema Smorgasbord, a bunch of great shows actually over there.
Jodorowsky's in Cinema.
Oh, sorry,
Smorgasbord.
Jodorowsky. The other one, which is also a great show, which is the Alejandro Jodorowsky. But Losers Club is all over the internet, so you can find them. Talking about Stephen King.
Yeah, and we also do a show with the George A. Romero Foundation the last Thursday of every month called Horror X, where we talk to women and femmes in horror about cool stuff, and I would highly recommend you check it out. It is on the network, Garf Network, for their YouTube. And so, thank you so much for listening to talk about Copycat. I think this movie's rad. I hope you have a rad week. Stay
Oh
rad.
my God, have a rad week. Stay rad. Oh my God, I want to watch Rad now.
Go ass sliding.
Oh, send me an angel. Let's do it.
There's
Okay.
thunder in my heart.
Yes.
Every move is like lightning.
Okay, keep it rad.
Thank you for listening. Horror Movie Survival Guide is independently produced by Terry Gamble, Julia Marchesi, and Sierra Ryan. Hey, that's me. If you would like to support the show, find us on patreon.com/horror movie survival guide.